Hey, we're playing Breath of the Wild because Tears of the Kingdom. It's gonna come out soon. We thought it might be fun for you guys. That's it. That's the intro.
All right, yeah.
Believe it or
The
not,
great.
believe it or not, that was the first take. I didn't even try to make a grand one. I was like, Carlos will fuck it up. I'll just, we'll just roll right in.
The best game on the Switch.
That's probably true.
Yeah. Honestly, I would say it's like a boring take, honestly, but I'm like, it is the greatest open world game.
That gets a little more
Yeah,
controversial.
I'm willing to heat it up, or at least my belief is like after Breath of the Wild came out, every single game should have redone their open world, and that's where I honestly feel like Ubisoft is in the current tailspin that they're in. Is like people got hip to Breath of the Wild and was like, oh, we don't need to settle for the shit that you've been making anymore.
So you haven't played it. I've only played it like for a few hours, but I do think the closest that's come to Breath of the Wild in terms of like the open world and like the game design is actually Elden Ring.
Oh yeah, I have to tap into that.
It's interesting because I agree with you. Where Ubisoft is just like, let's just, I don't know, copy and paste the same formula forever. But I also like the fact that they didn't shake things up after Breath of the Wild is like, I can't think of any other word to describe it other than hubris. Like they saw what like drove these crazy amount of sales, and they were like, no, gamers don't like it unless there's like 15 things in your HUD. Like you need.
I think it's a little bit of that.
They need repeatable quests that involve nonsense.
Like,
are we allowed to show feet for free?
That's the premium channel.
There is no premium channel. Don't tell them that. There, you can become a member, but there's no feed. Unless Carlos is saying he will post his feed as a members only post when this video goes live. Is that what you're confirming, Carlos?
I do have pretty ass toes.
So is this a yes or no?
And I am currently unemployed, so
I'm not paying you. So I don't know.
New offer on the table for this video series.
Right. For those who don't know, when we did the Pokemon Diamond series together, Carlos offered that if you don't like him in videos, if you donate $250,000 at once, not only will Carlos not be in these videos, I will go back and remove him from previous videos, and I will end my friendship with him.
Oh, no. I think 250K we stopped being friends.
Yeah, but the rest is included. I mean, we're not going to rip him off.
There was I believe the price was higher for you to go back and edit me out of your life.
I think originally we did 100. I think we did 200,000 for end the friendship, 250 to pull me out of the life because that was a steal. Want to see something funny? If you try and kick this open while you're
oh.
Okay, we got pants and feet. I mean shoes. What are those for those things you put on your feet? I mean, it's only one.
Oh yeah, now you got a shirt.
It's only one defense. I don't think I need either of these, so we'll just keep going. It's only 2 defense. Are you excited for Tears of the Kingdom?
Yes, I love Zelda.
So we're coming at this from 2 kind of different points of view. You like Zelda, just the series. I really only liked this game.
No, but I get that.
I think I missed Ocarina of Time because I did not have an N64 growing up, so I missed Ocarina and Majora's Mask. And then when I had a GameCube, I was like, oh, Twilight Princess? I don't know. Or Wind Waker. Those are games that people who like Zelda like, and I didn't play Zelda growing up, so I just never tried them. I still to this
Just
day.
be correct. Those are great games for dorks.
To this date, I have never tried Twilight Princess or Wind Waker. I've tried Ocarina of Time a couple times and I've not been able to get into it. But this one's different.
Yeah.
Like, I like the lore, quote unquote, of The Legend of Zelda. I think the stories are pretty interesting. I just don't like it's the gameplay where I'm like,
No, I get that because like, I don't. But I love Wind Waker. Wind Waker is probably number 2 in the series for me. I'm one of the annoying people who are like Breath of the Wild's number one
It's
because
a boring take, but also it's a common take for a reason. One of the things
yeah,
I like, this game has
because I'm just
a lot of things that are like really positive for it. I like the art design, I like the combat, I like the music. Like, very rarely does a game hit on just like every level.
it's also like it's like I'm replaying Ghost of Tsushima, and I can kind of see, funny enough, where they kind of like I would love to know, and maybe there's definitely an article about this somewhere, but I'm too lazy to Google it right now. About when they decided to change the navigation to the wind system, because I feel like
Oh,
that
you
wind
don't think
system.
they came up with that in the beginning?
No, I feel like they were like, cool, map,
I don't know.
waypoint, we'll do it that way,
That
and then it
that
became a thing of
that could
like,
be an idea they had
oh,
from the start. So you were referring to something that people might not know because not everyone has played Ghost of Tsushima. But the idea in that game is that when you have an objective, instead of giving you like dots on the ground like most modern games do, the wind will blow in a certain direction towards where you're supposed to go, which is cool. This game doesn't really have any
mhm,
of that. It's got like a soft marker system, I think, like where you can just see it like out
yeah.
in the open, but you can't really. It doesn't give you like a path to it.
But honestly, that's like the most fun I've had playing that game or playing Breath of the Wild is literally like, all right,
Just
how am I
exploring.
getting there?
Yeah, Elden Ring invokes the same stuff.
That's also why another favorite GameCube game, why I like Metroid Prime so much, and Metrovania, 3D Metrovanias in general is always like, oh, I see that thing. How? Let me figure out a way to get there. And
Yeah,
then sometimes it's
it's such a
literally,
proven game mechanic, and I feel like you never really do anymore. Uh, Offshoots of that, I feel like, are in like an RPG or something where you see a big ass fucking monster in the starting area, and you're like, one day, one day
oh
I'll fuck
yeah.
that thing up. Or in like Kingdom Hearts, where you'll see a chest on like a ledge that you can't reach yet, and you'll be like, oh, wonder when I get that. Uh,
Who could this guy be?
yeah. Well, I didn't know like the background of any of this, so I was just sort of like, okay, old man, that's fine.
But also, it's so much more interesting to like for some history. Do you know what do you know about Wind Waker? Because I'm gonna compare
I
the
have
two of them.
watched I think I've watched a playthrough of Wind Waker
Okay.
once or twice.
When did Wind Waker? When Wind Waker came out, I remember that shit blowing my fucking mind. 2002, yeah. So I played it this summer of 2003, and I remember again like so I don't think I hadn't played Ocarina of Time like fully to completion. I was just like aware of what it was as well as like Link was my main in Melee.
Oh yeah,
So so I was always just like, oh, this character is really cool. He's a dude with a sword. And then Wind Waker is like, oh, you're going on the boat, and then you like when you fall into the Hyrule shit. I was always like, this is cool as hell. And this one, like, I don't know, I post-apocalyptic Hyrule is a lot more cooler to me than like Twilight Princess. I enjoyed when I played it through, but like as years go by, I don't really think about Twilight Princess. Because also I feel like Okami did everything that game did better.
ooh. My, how our opinions have changed. I'm gonna bring up a really embarrassing quote from you that I think you already know what I'm about to say.
No, yeah, you said this in the last video series.
I'm gonna keep saying it every time we do one together. What did, or I'll, maybe you can say it. What did what did you say when
I was in the
when I first introduced you to Okami? You had already played a couple different Zelda games at this point. I
I was annoyed that there was a jump button. I was like, there shouldn't be a jump button. It should do this automatically for me.
yeah, that is a real thing that you said to me. That kind of made me go, "What?"
That's why it's a 9.8 out of 10.
I hate you so much. I do think if you like Breath of the Wild, Okami is another specific kind of brand of like whimsy mixed with like
Hmm.
intense story mixed with like crazy art direction. So I think there's a lot of crossover, and luckily you can get that on pretty much every fucking system because it's everywhere. Multiple close
I
at some
also
point.
like aspect of Breath of the Wild that I really enjoy is it's one of the few open world games where it feels like they understand that your open world game story should be more like a random episode of a television show versus trying to make it into this giant epic long thing.
Wait, who said
I do
this?
think no, that's what I feel like with Breath of the Wild. I feel like a lot of open world games, a lot of their fuck ups are believing that I'm gonna remember shit
Oh, yeah,
50
yeah,
hours
yeah.
in. When it's like, nah, just rip off quick stories that then feed into a larger whole, and then I'll figure it out from there. Versus, oh yeah, you need to remember that this character that you met in the first part of the game is important now. Oh shit, you fucked that dude up.
I did it. I wanted so badly to get him that environmental kill.
It's also funny having played also Red Dead Redemption again, and what that game attempted to do, and just like, yeah, it's crazy that Nintendo ate their lunch, and people will really be praising that game.
What?
Like,
I
I
think I
think Red
think I
Dead.
know what you mean, but I also think you said that in a very
People,
weird way.
yeah, I said it poorly, but like Red Dead Redemption 2, people were like, "Oh, the open world is alive," and I'm like, "It's really not. It's very dead." Like how I view most open world games
Well,
in
I think
terms of aliveness.
I think that was a common criticism of this game was that some people felt like it was large stretches of nothing, which I kind of disagree with.
I think that's a lot better to me.
I think it's
But you first.
I think it may be like it may be possible that
Hmm.
there's some parts that are like kind of big and open, but I also think like there's so much like to the game that it kind of offsets it.
Yeah. I
Where
also like.
where like not it doesn't you need every single part of the map to be like, full of stuff. But it's also like so like I understand where they're coming from. Like right here, like if I just look around, we've got these two bozos over here, got
Mhm.
some ruins over there, but like what how do you define the world is really empty? Because like there's still like stuff to explore. It may not have combat. I've just never really quite understood those complaints.
My thing with if a world is alive or not is as the player character, would it operate without me being there? And
That
my
makes
beef with Red Dead Redemption was always like the character has action inflicted upon him and doesn't really necessarily. And also, I that's my favorite part about this game. I know people hate the weapon degradation stuff, but I love that it always like in the beginning of the game, you're like, "What the fuck?
the
Everything I have nothing."
it's the weapon deck. So I have very specific thoughts on the weapon
Also, lock
degradation.
onto the fucking enemy.
Oh,
The way you
I can't
play,
remember how to lock on. Oh, there we go. Thank you. That
yeah.
was actually super helpful. Like, I couldn't remember. I keep thinking jump is going to be B, and it's not. There we go. It's me getting the controls down, I swear. I'm not just bad at this game. I'm a little bad at this game. But yeah, one of the reasons it was just to farm arrows, Carlos, obviously.
Hmm.
One of the reasons I wanted to play this with you is that you have a lot of knowledge of the series, but also, typically when the game is like, hey, do whatever you want, Carlos and I play very differently.
Oh yeah, I'm. Uh, Also, that's the crazier part to me about Breath of the Wild is, I'm the guy who plays Ubisoft games, so I need a lot more structure in my sandbox to have fun. Like I'm the guy who plays GTA just for the story and does not try to get a 5-star like wanted level.
Oh!
You fucked up. How do you feel about that? How do you feel about those engaging systems?
So this is the point where we reveal that Carlos is actually playing, and I'm recording his screen.
Oh wow! No, this is a lie. Don't Sly Cooper erase me.
Oh, thank God. A robust autosave system. I think I could probably just hit it, but there we go.
Or just not fall.
Yeah, woo. See, stuff like that is really
Low-key-
cool. I like environmental kind of style kills and whatnot.
Yeah, I again stuff like that where I can see you can map it out in your head how you're gonna do it, and that the game actually rewards you for doing that.
Well, you also love the standard stuff of like, oh, there's no wrong way to play. And it's like,
Yeah,
that's neat.
that's. But also, there's like the way people go like, oh, there's no wrong way to play. In my mind, I'm always just like, well, there is a wrong way to play, and it depends on the character. Because I don't know, I view when I play these games, and I know it's a weird thing. I always view it as more you are an actor. The game is the stage, but you are supposed to vibe with the main character at least a little bit and play the way that you would, or at least perceive the character to play like.
I think I can do that with some games, but I tend to
Yeah,
do that in
you can't do it with all.
certain games. I don't really do it in games like this. These games with a silent protagonist and a litany of game systems, I tend to just or game mechanics, I tend to just play however I feel.
But I would say
I'm not like, how would Link do this?
I mean, yes, but also I think there's a lot more space to be Link, if that makes sense. Where in other games, if the character talks a bit too much, or is it like Watch Dogs 2, for example, is like, oh, you're these cool hacker kids, right? And so the game kind of is like, oh, you should probably do stealth because like this guy doesn't look like he kills people. But then there's like a bunch of fucking system that allows you to mass murder a bunch of people, and I'm like, why would he do that?
Too, where like there's more options for like lethal stuff in that game than stealth and non-lethal, even though like all the characters activate to only do non-lethal.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like, granted,
I mean,
they have a lot
Metal
of
Gear is
good
kind of like that to
non-lethal.
an extent.
Yeah, but Metal Gear is always different to me in the sense of Metal Gear is guy trapped behind enemy lines, and he's kind of just fucking figuring it out. Like I feel like
Yeah.
Snake and Link in this game particularly are very similar. Of like we're just figuring it out.
You got an impossible task, and you got to figure out however you can do it.
Exactly. It's like
Whereas in
find
Watch
what you
Dogs,
got.
it's like, I guess we just murdered because it was slightly easier.
Yeah. Like one of the fun Watch Dogs things is that you can call in a gang to take out your target. But then I'm like, that seems such an aggressive use of force. Oh, the iPad. I forgot. What a small cum drop.
I forgot it wasn't a chest. I was waiting for the da-na-na-na. Oh, I guess that's kind of it. I really like the map system in this game. I think what is essentially a radio tower, which was created by Ubisoft. It's I like the way this game does it, where you basically just like look for the towers as opposed to in like a Ubisoft game being like, and here's the next tower. It's already marked on your map.
Yeah. I also like that the tower serves as a way to orient yourself of there'll be things to do on your way to the next tower, versus in Ubisoft it's like you got to get to that tower first and then all these side objectives show up.
I think that's a really bad
and then you
game
clear out
design,
that
actually.
area.
Ubisoft, where it's specifically it's like, yeah, you don't even know what you can do until you get this tower, whereas this one it's like, what can you do on the way to the tower? I also think that Spider-Man is the exception, because they do just have radio towers, but I also think that there's not that many of them, and they were put there pretty specifically to just have you, like, explore the city in, like, the first, like, couple hours to get all the towers, and then just be like, okay, and now I'm ready. Like, it's such, like, it's a mechanic I forget about, because it's just there, like, for so much of the game. Like, you do it in the first, like, 5 minutes.
I think like, there's also the challenge for most of these developers is like, how do we get you moving around the world without the urgency of completing the main story? As well as my biggest issue with most of these open world games is always, don't give me end of the world shit and then tell me to go explore.
I love that. It only certain games can pull it off, but I do like that.
Well, like it's end of the world and you got to get everyone together.
No, because it's not even that. Some games are just like, I literally don't have the ability. It's the end of the world, but like I can't do anything about it yet. So I need something else to happen. So I'm gonna do this in the meantime. Almost like living in America.
Well, no,
just like, yeah, it's end times, but I can't fix it. Like,
but I think there's or more. anything that gives a ticking time bomb aspect to a character. Like my biggest issue with Cyberpunk is they introduce like, oh yeah, you have to like the main character is on borrowed time. And then I'm like, why am I gonna engage with the open world if in real like this was me in real life and I was like I'm about to die, I'm just going to like do the quote unquote main quest to cure the issue.
I think that's just bad writing.
Yeah, I think, but also there's a lot of games have the issue of like that central hook isn't interesting enough to make me want to explore the world. It makes me want to just mainline the A plot. I have to envision that the character, as corny as this sounds, again, is going to go do other things in the meantime. I structure most open world games as I play them, like Avatar: The Last Airbender, where it's like, yeah, there's a lot of plot, but there's also random fucking episodes where Aang is just in the Earth Kingdom fucking around, you know? And in my mind, I'm always just like, is this a fucking around episode? Or is this like, I'm on the main plot? Main plot doesn't feels like I can't fuck off of that. I'm always just like, why'd you write it this way?
Can I stop you for a second?
Yeah.
You were so much more serious in this series than you were in Pokemon. What the fuck? Jesus Christ. We've been waxing poetically about the state of gaming for like 15 minutes. I brought you here for jokes, Carlos, for commentary as I was playing the game.
This is the beginning right now. There isn't a lot to work on.
I'm just messing with you. There is an update to your life if you wanted to share it. That has not been shared yet. Nobody knows this. We haven't announced it anywhere.
There are people in my personal life. I went to a wedding. Going to a wedding unemployed is the worst. Because it's just like, everyone's like, oh, Cross, what's new with work? And then I'm like, I ain't got that.
You're like, that's not really my style.
What kind of man has a job? Tell me that, man. You gonna let another man tell you what to do with your life? Couldn't be me.
Oh, fuck. Motherfucker threw a barrel. Alright, Donkey Kong, relax.
But also, that's man fucked up. What'd you do to make them that mad?
I don't know. They're coming out. Wait, no! He copied me! What the fuck? They're learning!
No, I think he swung and it caught on fire.
It's just funnier to think otherwise. What is my health at?
He saw you do it and was like, oh, I got that.
Oh. Do you see it? Why I can't see my health?
Why is it? It's by the rupee.
It's in the top left.
Oh, the recording thing. Oh.
In the preview for my recording, there's a big red button that says record, but it is perfectly covering the health. And it's also red, so like I can't see it.
Well, you're gonna have to.
Yep, just kind of guess.
Not only that, you're just gonna have to focus on getting pieces of heart.
I think it's so. The only reason I noticed I was low on health was because Link started like flashing red, and I was like, oh, that helps. I can't set these boxes on fire. Oh, you can set the box on fire.
Oh fuck! I just realized we can't talk about that big TV show that's on the air right now.
No, we can't. No, we can't. It is produced by my employers, and my employers are very clear. Hey, we want you to announce where you work, which is WB Games, but also never talk about anything related to WB. I'm like, okay, but that's you see how that's conflicting, right? Like, yeah, disclose that you work there, but also don't fucking talk about us. Like, okay, well, all right. Have you messed around with Master Mode at all?
No, I was thinking about it.
I would have started on this. Master Mode is like actually pretty difficult. I remember specifically.
What is it?
So they add a bunch more like enemy encounters, and they're all like stronger. Mm-hmm. Specifically, this area right here. There's like a couple Octorok like balloons attached to a platform, and there's like a sniper on it, and just like in the middle of this area. So like when you're trying to cross over there, he's just taking pot shots at you unless you deal with them.
God damn.
Yeah, they like actually like made like cool encounters and stuff like that, which I think is really cool. It's just that it's very hard, and I don't want to do that while recording.
I don't blame you.
I know the easy answer is to walk around, but it goes against
my
instincts.
Of this is you still haven't put clothes on this boy.
Well, I only have like baby clothes. I have like one defense, one pant.
Isn't that worth it rather than seeing nipple?
Link doesn't have nipples.
I guess not.
We freed the nip.
He's
It
not
doesn't.
like
It doesn't
Mario.
live with us anymore. Mario does have nipples. That's true. I think it's because he's Italian. So it doesn't make any sense.
That's anti-Italian discrimination.
Or pro-Italian. You don't know my stance on nipples.
True.
Yeah, you got fired.
Yeah, and I didn't get fired. I got laid off. Same result.
I just wanted to get you to say that.
Nah, this shit, oh my god, they did me. The way they did it was so dirty.
It was.
And like I knew the fix was in, but did I tell you that I met the guy who's taking over my position?
No, that's weird.
Yeah. So this is the thing.
Did you warn him?
No, I only met him over Zoom. So.
Well, they were
this
zooming
is-
your ass out of there.
Exactly. They're foul ass, right? So 2 weeks before they get your boy out, they sent out a big email announcement that this person with a different title will now be reporting to my supervisor. So in my mind, I'm thinking because my supervisor had no time to ever talk to me, that oh cool, this is probably the person I'm gonna speak to, and they're gonna be our go-between because my supervisor has no time. So I was just like, it is what it is. It's cool, whatever. And also, everyone else that I worked with had absolutely no idea. So they were all like, to go back. This is how it happened to me.
I can laugh about it now. I couldn't laugh about it that day. I was too worried.
Nah,
about
that shit was mad fucking evil, man. Monday call. This homeboy's in the fucking is on the call. So I'm thinking, new supervisor, hit him with the razzle dazzle. Hope to see you in the building this week. He's like, yeah, cool. I'm excited to see you. We go over all the stuff.
Do you remember what day this was?
This was on Monday.
That doesn't help me. I'm at date, Carlos.
Okay. Date, it was the first Monday of February.
So
the 6th.
Or the 6th, yeah.
So the 6th. My supervisor's on the call. Does not express what this dude's role is on the team. Doesn't do anything. Doesn't even fully sit in on the call. Because we can just hear that she's unmuted and she's talking to other people in the office. So I'm like, whatever, she's probably preoccupied, and this guy is just listening here because, again, this is an internal meeting. He has no idea what we're talking about because we're all just talking about small, minor issues. So it's whatever.
So the reason I asked is I wanted to find our conversation because I found out from you. I found out equally as abruptly as you did, but from you.
So, like, here's also the other fuckery. I knew something was up a little bit because my friend who came in after me had been scheduled for a performance review. The person who'd been there before me had also been scheduled for a performance review.
But you were not.
Yeah, so, and I didn't have a performance review, so I was like, that's odd. I had fired someone the week prior. So when HR texts me, like, hey, on Tuesday, hey, Carlos, are you free for... I'm making a face right now that the viewers and you can't see me. But, like, so
Just
when
like,
she
hey,
texts
it's
me,
HR.
I'm thinking, oh, we need to get all our ducks in a row because, old homegirl was coming back with the violence and is like, hey, like, let me make sure that you have all the paperwork to show that, this person. Also, I didn't tell you about firing this person. This person was so bad at their job, Nick. They sat security, right? And I got them on 2 weeks of footage just disappearing from the desk for an hour every day at the same time.
Wait, what?
So they sat security desk, and the one thing I tell everyone is like, there under no instances should you leave this desk longer than it takes to pee. I was like, if you're gone away from that much, like, you need to do something really serious, make sure someone covers, and if there's no one to cover you, I'm sorry, you're just gonna have to eat whatever that is and just do it there. Like, I literally told them, I don't care what you, like, if you have to eat dinner, just eat dinner at the desk. I don't care if a tenant complains about that, just be there so that way, like, if someone tries to sneak in, they can't.
Can I interrupt you for a second?
What's up?
You're not going to acknowledge how fucking rad that was?
Oh, yeah, honestly,
first try?
I was amazed that your shield held up. I was like, oh, I didn't know you could do that with that.
I really, really, really couldn't just, like, ignore that because I'm feeling too pleased with myself. Like, do you see how fucking cool that was? See how good that was? All right, continue.
So yeah, so she, Nick, it was I had noticed it because I was walking through the building, and I saw someone's random food delivery in the wrong spot, and I was like, why is this food here? So I went because the DoorDash review or receipt always has the time of delivery on it. Fun fact. So I went and I rewatched the security tapes of like, why did this delivery guy go to the place? And then she had disappeared for an hour. I was like, is this every day? And I went back, and it was like every day for 2 weeks on the hour.
I can't believe you had to be the one to find that out.
Oh my god! Everyone. Well, no, this was also the employee whose boyfriend had slapped the other employee.
Yes.
So we were looking for reasons to get her out.
Jesus.
And I was like, wow, this is perfect. I got all the video footage. So again, I thought HR was hitting me up to like, oh hey Carlos, like, can you send me that footage over? I was about to send the highlight reel, and then I was just like,
She's like, hold on, can I get my friend Nick to edit it first?
Then I was like, it's 4:15 on a Tuesday. Like, what's going on? I looked over. I spoke to the one coworker I really dislike, and I was like, "You think they let me go today?" And he's like, "No one told me about that." And he's like, "That'd really screw me up if they let you go." And I was just like, "Yeah, that probably would." And he's like, "Yeah." He was like, "There's no reason to be afraid because he's like, they haven't spoken to you, right?" And I was like, "No." And he's like, "They haven't even put you in a performance review. They're probably gonna do it later in the week." And I was like, "Probably."
Wrong. I love him being
So
so fucking wrong and more concerned that it was going to affect him.
So I'm in the office with everyone else. I get this call from HR, and because I'm thinking it's about another employee's time, I decide to go and
yeah, boss man. What do you need?
no, that's the crazy part. I call HR thinking again it's about the other person, so I go into the recycling room and I'm like, yes, I'm in a recycling room, by the way. And I'm calling, and I call
Carlos. You have to understand the irony here. Carlos, you got fired in the recycling room as they already had a replacement for you. Tell me you see the irony here.
Reuse, recycle, man. They got me out of here. And she starts saying like, yeah, so they are deciding to go with different different person for this role, and I'm like, wait, huh? Because no one's had a conversation with you about anything. I'm like, nope. And she's just like, yeah, and they didn't tell me anything about why they're letting you go. And I was like, great, that makes me feel swell. And she goes, yeah, if you got any questions, just ask the CFO. And I'm like,
any questions?
Well,
I don't have any answers.
The CFO refuses to like speak to me because he knows that if he talks to me, I'm going to ask him for the money to complete my job. And she goes, well, yeah, if you have any reason to go to the main office, just I would say trap him in a conversation with him. But yeah, I have no more information. Thank you for your time. It was great to work with you. And I'm like, what do you mean I don't have a job?
Dog. They screwed you so hard.
And so the next day,
like an astounding
this is the best
degree.
part. I could have done a whole ruined every bridge on my way out because a bunch of tenants had given me their rent checks, and usually I go to the main office on a Wednesday, but because I got laid off on a Tuesday, I was like, I ain't going down to that bitch no more. No, I did go down.
Oh my god, dude, it's so pathetic.
No, I went down because I was like, I'm gonna have words with this man. And guess what? Guess what the CFO did, Nick?
What?
He just didn't show up. He just didn't show up to work.
It's like all of them learned how to be a shitty employee from you, and then used your own tricks against you.
Nah, this is the thing. Is like the people I've let go, I fire every person in person. I did that shit so if they hit me, I'd get that workers' comp.
So for the wrong reason. Okay, got it.
Yeah, but I was just like, you know what? If I'm gonna do it, I gotta at least like do it with some decency to the position. Like the least I can do is tell you why I'm doing this to you, and also and all the
ain't nothing but
and all the employees always knew that I was like, nah, you could have just done your job, and I wouldn't have had to done this. But tell me, they were just like, nah, we ain't gonna tell you.
I mean, you figured out the reason since then, right?
Yeah, so because I was making the most money there for my role, they was gonna have to give me a big old fucking bonus, and they didn't want to do that because I'd been there for a year. So they
Uh,
fired me. They let me go a year before, so that way they could, and then gave me the full month severance.
kind of sounds like how your predecessor left the company, which unfortunately you didn't find out until hindsight.
Oh my god, that's the other thing. Just absolutely wild behavior. Wild behavior. The craziest thing is, again, they had announced that this guy like 2 weeks prior was gonna join the company. So I'm like, they were still putting me in meetings and shit, and I'm like, why? Y'all could have just been like, phase me out completely and just tell me nothing. They were having me in summer planning meetings, and I'm like, that I wasn't in when I first got hired. So I'm like, why am I in this shit now?
All right, only 899 more to go. That
Also,
is
the
intention of this.
funniest thing. Oh, sorry.
No, you're good.
Oh, we're getting all the Korok seeds.
Yeah,
Oh wow.
obviously.
I didn't get anywhere near close to that. Yo, you just kicked his head off. That's mad rude.
I think what's rude is that he didn't die. Oh, no,
No,
he did.
yeah,
Fuck, no. Rattle his bones. Oh, no, okay, they're definitely not dead, which is worse. I feel so much worse now. They're not dead. They're just cursed to not have their fucking bodies, dude. Sorry, I gotta go. Sorry.
Oh no,
Okay.
they disappeared.
I think once all of the sources are gone, they disappear.
But yeah,
Bum,
they
bum,
did.
bum.
They got your boy out here dirty. And so now I've just been I played Metroid Prime Remastered.
Oh, and how'd you get that game?
So I you know me, I was working hard. I was no, yeah, you threw pity on my soul. That felt great.
I did. You were having a rough time, and I think the Metroid Prime came out like a couple days after.
It
you
happened
laid
the
off.
next day.
Was it the next day? And you were
Yeah,
like, "Oh, that
that
looks
was the
really
worst
cool."
part.
And I was like, "Oh, are you gonna play it?" And you were like, "Nah, I gotta fucking save money now. I don't have a stream of income." And I was like, "Well, that sucks." And then I was like, "All right, here's a code. Here's a Switch code."
I was about to pull up on Nintendo offices myself because that was just like the most. I was like,
That's heinously timed.
I was like, what? I bought this Switch console off the rumor of a Metroid remaster,
I'm sorry.
and they were like,
Oh, we were going to talk about something real quick that I don't want to go away from. People talk about the degradation of the weapons in this game as if it's some like big deal breaker, and I don't get it. Like when people
Yeah.
told me about the weapon degradation before I started playing the game, I was like, oh, that's dumb. Like that sounds like a shitty fucking mechanic. And then I played with it, and I was like, it's fine. I don't know why people reacted that way. It's fine. You find more than enough weapons. It doesn't matter. Like.
honestly, I don't understand that complaint at all because in my mind I'm always just like I'm using every single item so high, like so much.
Yeah, and
that
also
just like,
I'm constantly throwing weapons away. I find so
Yeah.
many. Like, what do they mean?
like I guess maybe the one issue is that like oh you're just you at the near the end of the game you're just hoarding so much stuff, but then I'm like just use it. Like it took a little bit for me to be like, oh yeah, I should just use everything I have.
Yeah,
And,
you have to break a lot of bad habits sometimes, where you're just like,
Yeah.
just fucking use it, dude.
honestly, I feel like there's so many games that need to learn the like, or at least a lot of gamers need to learn the lesson of you should just be using everything in a game.
I still have to like consciously force myself to use some like
Yeah.
the better healing items in most RPGs. Or I'm like, if I'm struggling and I'm like, what if I need it? I'm like, I need it now. That counts as needing it. Like, just do it, dude. Like, what do you mean? I've gotten better about it, but it's like I'll still like hold on to like the hardest stuff until the end. First cooking, here we go. This is also a really
cool-
fun mechanic that they didn't have to have in this game, but I'm super glad it's
Yeah.
in.
They also don't teach you anything. You're just kind of throwing it in there for so long. But also, like, I really liked it because I was always just like, I have no idea. And then you slowly figure out, like, okay, this goes with that. This goes with that.
Yeah, that's what I liked about it. Is I did slowly learn how that stuff works, and it was pretty cool. Like just knowing that certain ingredients do this, and certain ingredients are just kind of like filler. So like if you want to like have more health, put some hearts in, or put some apples in there. But if you want like protection against like elements, put a certain kind of ingredient in there, and like I think it's really well done.
I also like this is the only game I think in the last since I've turned 18 that I was like, oh man, I wish I could be in like elementary school again on recess, like talking about this game because I feel like you would have some great combos about someone saying, oh hey man, last night I discovered this did that.
There are definitely people who played this game when they were in high school, and that makes me feel old, but who had a fucking blast talking about it with their friends.
Yes.
And I'm jealous of that.
Because I remember, weirdly enough, which I'm excited, it's coming to the Switch, Golden Sun, and I remember that's one of the few Game Boy Advance games I had, and like going to recess and talking to people about the puzzles in that game of like, oh, you should go here next, versus like.
I had the DS one, but I don't think I ever played the Game Boy Advance one. I also didn't really get very far on the DS one. I heard the series was really good. I just never got into it.
That's one of the. I got stuck on the final boss fight. That's the
devastating.
one turn-based game that I've actually like played most of and seen most things in it.
Do you remember when we were children and we would take our Digivice pedometers that you could raise a Digimon onto the playground and be like, look who I've got?
Oh, yes.
Those some good times. Did you also have the... I think you had the same problem I did, which is you could never raise a Digimon to Mega before the battery died.
Yeah.
I didn't know you could just change the battery.
Or before you lost the thing. I lost a lot of things as a child.
I didn't really lose things as a kid, I don't think. It was pretty... I usually had a pretty good idea where my stuff was. Oh, fuck! Oh, Jesus. Okay. It's going really well.
But yeah, everyone should play the Metro Prime Remaster. That game fucking kicks ass.
Yeah, you beat it already.
Yeah. Well, I did and I didn't.
You didn't 100% it, but or didn't get the best ending, but you did beat it.
Yeah. And it was... I know, like, there's been some of the dialogue in the more annoying spaces on social media of like, this game is so great, why did it need a remaster? And mostly my thing is
weird
like,
take. What do you mean?
No, like the take makes sense in the sense of remastering most games to just like look better on modern TVs is great, but like some people go full overboard to be like, oh, this old classic game is broken and is useless and no one should play it anymore. And I'm like, all right, sometimes though some adjustments need to be made to a game for modern sensibilities, as well as sometimes I'm like, nah, you kind of need that jankiness that's inherent in the experience.
For this one, it was the controls, right?
Yes. So, actually, no. To me, it wasn't. The controls are still great. My issue with Metroid Prime.
Speaking of controls, I'm still getting mine down for this game. Jump on Y and run with B and attack with Y or feel weird.
I am so uncomfortable with the Switch controller just because I'm always like, oddly enough, I'm confusing it with Xbox controllers.
It's not odd; they have the same buttons.
Yeah, but I'm always just like, is that the? It's why where I think it.
It's dumb that they use the same buttons and put them in different spots. Yeah. I can't think of any concrete reason why they would do that. I think Nintendo would have been using the same buttons since like the SNES, and Microsoft was the one who fucked it up by changing it around, like back on the original Xbox. But also the original Xbox controller is like a war crime. It's got so many buttons for no reason.
What a weird console, the Xbox.
So, I think what I gotta do is I gotta go a certain way first because he gives you a doublet.
Like Don't you have to go to the church? Didn't you?
No, not yet. That's after you do all the shrines. But yeah, I keep thinking that I'm playing Yakuza Ishin right now, or Like a Dragon Ishin, and sprint is on the left stick in that one, and there is no jump. Luckily, attack is the square button, which is the equivalent of the Y button on the Switch controller. So it's not too crazy, but it's weird. I don't know. My brain thinks this should be played like a Kingdom Hearts game, and I'm like, I know that's not true.
Now I get that. Playing Ghost of Tsushima, to get on the horse is R2 instead of triangle, which is a heavy attack. So I keep
It's the
hitting.
smallest
For the
things,
first
isn't it?
couple of hours, I was hitting the horse every time. I was like, oh fuck, no, it's not Red Dead. I gotta fucking hit R2. But also, I'm like, we know, like even if the buttons are different, in my mind, I'm always just like, you know, the general direction of what most games do this.
I wonder if there's a way you could like show what button to hit without showing the face button. Oh, I forgot to grab the X.
They do that on this thing. They do the little carve out in the circle.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's clear enough sometimes.
Do you want to hear a small gripe that I have that I think you'll appreciate? In Yakuza Ishin, when they show button prompts, because I'm playing on the PS5, all of the face buttons are black and white because that's how it is on a PS5 controller. But on the PS4 version, they have the actual colors. So triangle is green, circle is red, X is blue. And I'm like, why can't you just do that for both? Why did they get it? I don't understand.
Why do the poor get anything?
It's not like they'll be confused. Like, what do you mean? I felt ripped off. So I definitely shouldn't be here yet, but I think that he has a house on like the side of it, or on like on the edge of this area. You can go there after too. Like, there's no set order I have to do this in. I'm just trying to go in what I think is an easier order. For some reason, I'm really cold and I can't figure out why. Let me do a time check real quick. 47 minutes. I want to break these videos up. Every like hour or so to try to reduce the chances that the video breaks.
Okay.
How long can you go today?
I can go for like another 30 or so. Or do you
Unemployed
want another hour?
Let's try and do another hour after this.
Okay.
Oh,
We're
there it
gonna
is.
do another hour.
That's what I meant. He's got a little house over here.
Sorry, I'm telling my manager.
I could figure.
The unemployment office in the house today is I'm cracking that whip.
Tell her I said hi.
Nick says hello. She says hello.
No, she said hi.
She
And
did not enjoy me watching. She did not enjoy me watching Maury yesterday.
No, nor did I, by the way. I'm like, why are you doing this? You've fallen so far and so quickly. Like, what do you mean?
Did I tell you that I was rewatching How I Met Your Mother?
Oh, Carlos. What are you doing?
Let me.
No.
How
You're not
I Met
digging
Your
yourself out of
Mother.
this.
How I Met Your Mother when I was, because like literally.
This used to be like your favorite show. And that's not an exaggeration.
No. Let me
Okay.
clarify.
Okay.
I got high the other night.
Okay. It suddenly makes sense now.
And I was like, this show is actually funny. Because in the back of my mind, I was like, Nick told me this show doesn't hold up. I was like, this show is hilarious. How could this not be still a great show?
Holy
Watched
shit.
it
I love
sober.
that you have me in your head, though, where you're like, Nick, this wasn't funny. What was he talking about?
Watched it sober, and I was like, yo, everyone who worked on the show needs to be tried. No, they need to be held in prison with no trial. Suspend habeas corpus.
I listened to a podcast with Rahul Kohli on it, and he said he took an edible for the first time in like 10 or 15 years. And I wonder how this will work out. He took an edible for the first time in like 15 years, and I've never seen this happen. This is really funny. Bees!
No, that makes sense. That's a realistic reaction.
But yeah, so he was playing FIFA with his mate, and a like song in the background of FIFA came on, and he was like, "Yo, dude, this song is great," and he was like, "I don't know, it's fine, I guess." And he's like, "No, dude, this is my sound." And like, and he said he listened to it and he's sober, and he was like, it's fucking awful. Because the funny thing is, he wasn't sure if he got high or not. Like, he couldn't tell. And then the next day when he listened to it again, it's like, nope, I definitely did.
Nah, FIFA is the most dangerous game to play while high.
That's what he said.
It's like hours will go away before you notice, as well as like you get in the mix of like you're listening to the songs and you're the squad management stuff.
For the audience, I don't know what I can't decide if I want to go for that shrine or the one over there. because I'm like equidistant
Go for
between
the
two
other
of
one.
them. Well, I'm going to this one because
Don't you have to go to the cold?
yeah, but I'm gonna grab the warm doublet from him because I
Okay.
realized that I could probably put on a shirt finally. That might be good for some people. Yeah, you know what's crazy? If you come down the mountain from here and you like go to the shrine that way, yeah, he does it over here. I wonder if I can get him to do it. He basically gives you a short tutorial on the tree physics in this game, which is if you can cut down trees to like make paths. Did you know this?
Yeah, I never did it, but I
Like
heard of
this,
people being like,
like this is the example,
but also I'm
and
like,
that's fucking rad, dude. That you can just do. I love that so much that there's like actual like log mechanics
but like again to go back to how dope this game is.
and how great How I Met Your Mother is. Yeah,
Shut the fuck up. Like playing Red Dead felt like I had gone back to play a 2007 game in the worst aspects of like you have to do everything that game wants in the order that game wants, and if you try to do anything cute, fail state.
it's a big problem I have with the open world games is that they limit the world until you've done like X, Y, and Z, and then I'm like, yeah, but now I'm not interested. I wanted to do it when I like first saw it.
Yeah, or I'm like, why would I just not try to? Why not? If you have systems there, allow me to deal with like it. I hate that I couldn't release a bear into a building in Red Dead. Like there was no way for me to be like, oh, let me just pick this bear off to come follow me, and he's just gonna deal with all these people.
Sorry, one more time. I was reading.
I should be able to release a bear in Red Dead into a city.
Far Cry does let you do that.
Yeah, Far Cry like
Speaking of bears, actually, I've met someone. No, can you imagine, dude? What the fuck? What a fucking reveal.
start watching the bear.
Speaking of bears, there's a boss in Yakuza 5 that's a bear, and it's pretty difficult. And
Like an actual bear,
yeah,
or like
it's not
what
only
you-
just an actual bear; it's like a really strong bear. Where there's like legends about it in the area, and you can get it in Yakuza Ishin as like a follower, or you can get it as like a kind of like an ability you can activate. You can also get Raul Koli. Speaking of, just bringing that back around, and when you do it, you can have those abilities set to just go off automatically. So what happens is it basically triggers a custom heat action with the bear, where he just mauls a dude. Like he picks one dude out of the crowd and mauls them. And like having it on automatically is so funny because I'll be like sword fighting, and then all of a sudden a bear will fucking charge in and just wreck a guy. I gotta stop for a cutscene. It's very funny.
I also have to go back and play Returnal.
I don't know how to.
But yeah, How I Met Your Mother, not good.
So
Did not age
what
well.
stuck out to you as not being very good about it? Because I know the answers
It's
already.
just like it's the thing to me is just like it's not like I realized again because I got high again and I was watching the show again and I was just like, oh no, I'm laughing, one because I'm stoned and because of the laugh track is always already putting me in a happy like a loosey goosey way. So I'm just susceptible to these dumb jokes. I bet if I watched The Big Bang Theory, I would have been like, ah ha ha, this show is actually funny.
Love
And then
it.
when I watched it sober, I was just like, these beats are predictable, as well as there's nothing here. There's just nothing under there. And then I was just like, the way the show ends, and just knowing, it's whatever, man.
It
It's
doesn't
great to,
sound like that. It sounds like you got really upset with yourself for liking it.
Not even. It's just like I throw it on in the background because I'm like it's 8 seasons, and then I put it on while I'm like sending out resume stuff. So it's at least something where I'm like I can check in when I need to, as well. It's not particularly, and I kind of just seeing like where it goes, and it's not like it's dumb enough that I'm like, oh, if maybe Juliana sticks around, I'll pay attention a bit more. But no, I needed a comfort show, and it's not doing that, so I probably gotta go look for another one. But also, it sucks that we're not getting shows like that anymore.
What I mean, they make a meat dish. Need that warm
Like,
doublet.
I don't think there's like a other than Abbott Elementary. I can't see like any sitcom nowadays going for like 8 seasons, 22 episode orders.
That is a good point. I feel like you don't really see that at all anymore. It's like almost, it's not even out of fashion. It's just like the audience doesn't demand it anymore.
Carlos is demanding it.
Similar to you, I'm also going back and rewatching an 8-season long sitcom. I've gone back and started to rewatch a 30 Rock. Some of that show holds up really fucking well. Some of that show holds up really badly.
But also, I'm like,
Like,
you're not gonna get another 30 Rock. Granted, 30 Rock is different because in my mind, 30 Rock is one of the few shows in its first season it knows what it wants to do and then proceeds to do all those things.
Disagree.
Really?
I think the first season of 30 Rock is not very good. I think they get it right at the end. They like start to figure out what they need to be. But I think the first couple episodes are kind of rough. But I think season 2, from like the start of season 2, they're like, we got it. Season 2 starts off with Seinfeld vision, like,
Oh yeah.
which is a great episode. And it's stupid. It's such a stupid but realistic concept, especially now. Like, we can just like digitally add Jerry Seinfeld to all of these shows because we own the rights to him. And I'm like, that's more modern than it is like for the time when that came out in like 2008.
It's Always Sunny is a show like that. Granted, I think It's Always Sunny is in.
I think we've talked about It's Always Sunny before, where it's like some of the dumbest fucking people I've ever met really like that show and put me off it for so long because I was like, if they like it, then it must be garbage. And then
Yes.
I watched it and I was like, this show's really fucking good. But I think they like it for
It's
the
also-
wrong reasons. Like,
It's also a hard show to get people into because I also am like, you have to either be you have to be comfortable with its stupidity and understand of like where the show, like what the core themes of the show are and how it gets its jokes, because otherwise, like I've tried to introduce Juliana to it a handful of times and she just does not.
I know for a fact
Like,
Amy would hate it. I would never even try.
She finds parts of it funny, like when I explained to her, because one time I forget where we were and I was like, oh, it's the implication, and she's like, what is that, what do you mean by that? And I'm like,
Oh, no. That sounds so bad out of context too. That is
But, like,
a top quality joke though.
I mean, every Dennis is the funniest character in my mind. Of like, I see myself in a way of like, if I was an irredeemably bad white guy, I would be Dennis.
I think if you were just white, you'd be Dennis. I think
Probably.
that's literally all it would take. I'm now looking for a boar, one of several of which I ran right by before.
It's also a show that I'm always just like, I'm glad there's not that many black people in it. This is a show that makes me go, sometimes we need less diversity.
An interesting,
We don't need.
an interesting but not altogether unwarranted take.
No, because I'm always just like, sometimes stories are funny when it's just white people getting up to white nonsense, and that show is nothing but white nonsense all the time. And I'm like, as soon as you like in the episodes that they do have black people in are still hilarious, but I'm always just like, this show is just so good because because as soon as you introduce a black character into a lot of sitcoms, contrary to what the social justice warriors will have you believe, I'm joking.
Christ.
No, but I'm always just like, as soon as you introduce a black character into a white environment, you kind of have to explain like why your characters are no longer assholes.
You see,
Because it's just like,
oh, I see what you mean. Where it's like you can't have these irredeemable characters, and then suddenly, if they have someone of a different ethnicity or minority doing the same acts, then it's like, well, you can't really do that because it fuels a lot of very hateful things that a lot of people
exactly. And
believe.
I'm like, they say the N word and It's Always Sunny, and I still find that show hilarious. And I'm just like, yeah, black people don't need to be around for every single joke, as well as like sometimes you gotta let shit go a bit weird, so that way we can actually have a conversation about the content and context, and we don't need black people sitting first row to deal with all that. We don't need black people in the splash scene for racism. Sometimes if you want to have a conversation,
Carlos, it's part 1. Do you want to?
oh yeah, we are.
Do you want to maybe rein it in?
Oh yeah, nah. All right, let's start talking about
Jesus Christ, dude. Do you think we want to tackle the fucking race issue?
I'm sorry. I've been since
Since you've been cooped up inside, losing your fucking mind.
Juliana don't want to talk to me. I got so many thoughts and ideas. She don't want to hear none of that shit.
It's so funny to me that she works from home and now you're stuck home. Because it has got to be trying that engagement.
Nah, Juliana.
Ask her if she still loves you.
She loves me. That's the worst part. No.
Ask her.
No, she's in a different room and the door's closed. But, like, I can also tell. Because, like, I'm applying, I'm doing all these things, and she's helping me out when she can. But there's a little bit of like, oh wow, you ain't got nothing to occupy your time right now.
I felt that. I don't even live with you. You've said a couple things where I've been like, Carlos, you've got to find a fucking hobby or something.
So I've been taking the dog out on long walks and stuff, but like also the other part of it is Juliana is contrary to like. Crazy enough, Nick, the most supportive people have been my parents who have been like, if there's anything you need, we can help you. Don't worry about rent. We'll step up and help you if you need it. And I'm like, I'm good. Don't worry about me. And Juliana's like, you need to be applying to 30 jobs an hour. I don't understand why you're not applying. Why are you even looking right now? You should be applying. And my dad's just like, stop applying. You're just going to stress yourself out and nothing's going to get done. You need to take breaks.
I told you that too.
Like, yeah. And Juliana's like, what's a break? Breaks are for union employees. You ain't even an employee. Get back on that LinkedIn.
That is funny.
She's telling me to cold email randos. Just start.
Yeah?
She about to have me knocking on doors outside offices like, hey, are you guys hiring here? All I got is a smile and a resume.
He needs... for fuck's sake, dude. It's raw meat, a pepper, and a fucking bass. I thought this was going to be like an easy, like, hey, if I stop here, he'll give me a fucking doublet, and I'll be good from the cold, and I don't have to worry about it. I didn't know what I was getting into when I signed up for this. So, we're going to end the video here, and next time, we're going to go for that bass. We're going to get that bass. We're going to back that bass up. Nothing? Okay.
No, I'm not enabling that behavior.
See you guys in part 2.